Hi everyone, this is Marguerite. I am sharing a video of a vintage junk journal that I've just recently finished. I had two goals in mind when I was making this one, and the first goal was to use the digital kit from Ephemera's Vintage Garden called Mabel's Diary. It is this one, and these are just some of the pages in the kit. I really like it because it is dramatic and elegant, and it is my favorite of her collection, Ephemera's Vintage Garden, and I've never used it before in making a junk journal. So I had it in my stash for at least 6 months, and I've been thinking about what I want to do with it. So here is what I've come up with. So here is the cover. I made this by hand, and I have done another vintage junk journal using this method. Here's what I kind of did in the past. I also used a rubber stamp and kept it in a very simple style. With this one doesn't have too much embellishment on it. But the process is this. So I take a cardboard, not a very thick cardboard, a thinner cardboard, and I cover it with a book page, a single book page, and I set it down with matte medium. And after I put the book page on, I cover that with tissue paper. And here I'm showing you this one because the tissue paper kind of slipped and you can see the layers here. So here is the cardboard underneath, then you have the paper, and then there's the tissue paper on the top. The tissue paper I used was just white, and once the tissue paper dried, then I went and I started inking with distress inks and spray inks, things like that, until I got it the right consistency and the look that I wanted. The great thing about tissue paper is that it absorbs ink very nicely, and also when you put it down, there's just no way that you can make it completely flat, so you are left with a lot of this creasing and kind of bunching, which I think gives it a lot of character. It even tore a little bit up here, which is fine. I think it looks great the way it is. So I'm not gonna, change too much now that I have it looking the way that I like it. So on top of that, then I put a varnish. If I use a rubber stamp on top of that, then I put an additional layer of acrylic varnish on the top, and that one was with a spray. So now it won't smear, and it's pretty solid. This keyhole, I don't know how this is called. This is a Tim Holtz piece, and then also this knob is also a Tim Holtz piece, and that's separate. I just combined the two together to make this whole unit. For the spine, I sewed in 3 signatures using a 7 hole pamphlet stitch. So I had mentioned that my first goal was to use the digital kit. My next goal was to use vintage lace, which I have been saving a big stash of. I volunteer for the Sunnyvale Lace Museum, and they have a big sale twice a year where I get all kinds of pretty scraps, and that I want to start using in more of my projects. So I will work on that. And also I have a lot of scraps and pieces of letters and pictures and things like that that I also want to start using more of in some of my projects. So with that in mind, so I used a piece of lace on the cover. I also need to put it on the back cover, but I just forgot about it and realized I need to do that. So that will be something I do before I call it finished. So on the inside I used tea-dye pages. This one has a stencil that I put on there, but I didn't do too much stenciling otherwise. So this is from the kit. Here's just a postcard, a vintage postcard that I had, so it goes in there. This is a pattern from a book, I believe. This is a freebie from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. It comes with 2 sets of 3 cards, and here I just added some stamping, rubber stamping with that. Here's a little glassine bag that I tea dyed, put a couple things in. There's another freebie. Just did a little collaging. With some of my pieces, what I did was I took something from my collection, and these things I just, buy at used book sales or wherever, antique stores, whatever. So some of them, what I did was I scanned them and then I printed them out. That way I can use them on multiple projects. So I left this kind of like a little booklet that I can write something inside later if I want to, or put something inside. There's some book pages, of course. Another postcard. Music. Here I used a ribbon, or 2 ribbons actually, red velvet and I don't know the name of the black kind of ribbon underneath. I put double-sided tape underneath and then left the section in the middle free so that I could slip something inside. This is a 6x6 piece of, just from a paper pad, and I like them because it's kind of a heavier paper and the stitch is inside, so once you fold it in half and use double-sided tape on the sides, then it becomes a pocket and it hides the stitch. Here's a bit of the lace. This comes with the kit. Just a little collaging. This is another freebie. It doesn't come from the Mabel's Diary collection, but it goes with this. It goes with it. Here, for example, you have this kind of same kind of a seafoam green color, so it goes along with it. That's just a decal I received from somebody. It's from the kit. This is also from Mabel's Diary collection, but it's a freebie, so it can be added on. It's another postcard from October 1905. It's just some cutouts. This is rubber stamp on using copper ink on a black cardstock, and I just stuck a piece of an article from an old magazine. This is another freebie, I believe, not from Mabel's Diary, but again, this is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden, and it just goes along with the rest of the kit just because, for example, it has these browns on the outside and black and red. So that's kind of, what I was looking for, matching wise. Here's more of those cards. Those are just great. Love them. You can do all kinds of things with those. It's just a letter. Vintage letter. Here's some more lace. Piece of paper that I, from a book that I put down there. This envelope comes with the kit, and let me show you what it looks like. So I can find it real quick here. So what did I do with it? I wanted to explain. Oh, I can't find it now. Okay, so it comes with all the pieces flat so that you fold it up and it becomes an envelope. But I wanted to wanted to have 2 pieces of the envelope. I wanted to have the back and the front, and not necessarily have it as a separate piece. So I cut off the 4 flaps and assembled them to make it look like the back of an envelope, and then I have made this pocket here. The front I used somewhere else. So this is another piece of from my collection. I have these letters to Miss Lucille Holt from Hollister, and the neat thing about them is they are postmarked from San Francisco in 1906, just a few months before the big earthquake. So I guess her boyfriend was living in San Francisco going to school at the time when she was receiving these. They're just neat letters to have. I like them because it just, you know, makes me think about that time and those months just before the big earthquake and what it must have been like, you know, when she got word, you know, that the event had happened and all that sort of thing. So I copied or scanned these and then used them for making a pocket. So again, this is the middle of the signature, and have one of these little cards just in the middle like that. That's just a bank check that I scanned. Another printout, and this is a sleeve so I can put something in there. This is from a map or a travel book of Paris with some washi tape. It's just another letter. That's another freebie. There's something else that I scanned. Originally what I had planned to do was glue it together so that it would be a solid, kind of a heavier piece like a authentic postcard. But then I thought, you know, this would be actually a nice place to write something or to put something if I decided to in the future. So decided not to glue it and just instead kept it like that. Just another postcard. Book page. Another book page. More lace. Yay, I'm getting better at using lace in composition with other pieces. This is from the kit, by the way. It's just a tea-dyed doily. This technique I learned from Sue Olson. She goes by the name Innkeeper on YouTube, and she has some really fabulous YouTube videos with making vintage junk journals. So that's just kind of a technique that I follow or learned and liked from her. A little bit more lace. Here's just a regular envelope. I tea-dyed it and it fell apart while it was wet, which is nice because then I used it again in the middle of my signature, tied in the stitches, and then folded it back up, and then you don't see anything. Here's the front of that gorgeous envelope that comes with the kit. It's just, I just love these colors. So I wanted to use it somewhere else. Here I just have it along with another red postcard. Something else I saw from Sue Olson. Here is another vintage postcard. This comes from the kit. More lace. Here's a little collage I made with a map, an extra piece of a map page cut down and collaged with a postage stamp, and this is also from the kit. So these two things are from the kit. More freebies. Something else that I scanned. This comes with the kit, Mabel's Diary. And that is that. For the back, for this chain, I used an eyelet, and it is being held in place just with a single jump ring. And then the closure is this lock piece. This is actually from jewelry making. This is a closure for a bracelet or for a necklace, and I just kind of, I actually had to snip it because it wouldn't fit around the knob, so I cut it just to give it a little bit more space, and now it fits over that knob. And the key, this is a hook and eye system, so the key I just attached with a jump ring onto the rest of the chain. So that is it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye.